Up first, let's talk People magazine. Their June issue. Oh, excuse me, it's June the 10th issue. Forgive me for that. So that's a correction. It's their June the 10th issue. Venus is on page 4 with her Mattel Barbie. So she gives that visual of what the beautiful Barbie looks like. We congratulated Venus on her Barbie a few episodes ago where we talked about just congratulating her. And I think it was around 12 or so athletes total that they are doing specific Mattel Barbies for. And Venus Williams is one of those individuals. And a lot of controversy has been surrounding the Lion King. And I'm not talking about the part where I believe it is Beyonce's daughter is going to voice one of the characters in The Lion King. It's actually Northwest. So folks have been saying, Northwest got an opportunity to play the role of young Simba in one of the musicals. I think it was also the one that Jennifer Hudson was in as well, because on page 10 of People magazine, there's a photo of J Hud as well as Northwest in their picture. They're together, and folks are upset that Northwest got a chance to play young Simba on Broadway, and they felt like that should have gone to other kids who've been in the industry of Broadway for a longer period of time. And although that's not Northwest's fault, when your parents got the pull, it is that way sometimes. But I do understand why some parents have been upset and have been on TikTok talking about how their kids have been in the industry for this long and et cetera, or how they played the audition to give the impression that it was going to go to somebody locally when it actually ended up going to Northwest. Now, again, Northwest, that's not your fault. That's the fault of other people. But congratulations, in spite of the controversy, on getting an opportunity to play young Simba. That definitely is not a small feat. And the backlash is the backlash. But again, congratulations. Patti LaBelle, she turned 80. She's pictured on page 11, still looking as fly as ever. We discussed Patti last weekend in her fabulous surprise birthday party, but then also the fact that Cardi B was supposed to be one of the hosts that hosted the event. And according to Patty Jackson and our critics over on her channel, I guess Cardi didn't have a chance to go. But I think it was because she was performing, right? Wasn't she performing in New York with Meg Thee Stallion at the big arena there? I mean, I think that's why she couldn't make it. Remember, folks are saying that she's expecting. We don't know that for sure. That's really just speculation. But Cardi, people are saying that the reason why you may not have been able to make it is because, you may be expecting baby number 3. We'll see. Time will tell. And Lenny Kravitz as well has turned a big age. He's actually just turned 60. He also released a brand new album called Blue Electric Light. And it's also been practicing celibacy. Is that the right way to say it? He's been celibate for 9 years, according to the reports. And maybe that's why some folks have wanted him, because it's been out there that folks like Mariah Carey, that was a couple of months ago, was maybe dating Lenny Kravitz. And then folks are saying that after the interview that Gayle King did with Lenny Kravitz, that now she was kind of flirting with him and hinting to him. But yeah, Lenny Kravitz, he's been celibate for 9 years and wanted to share that with everybody. And now all the women want you, Lenny. All the women want you. Lenny also has a very healthy diet, and he has a healthy workout regimen as well that he talks a little bit more about in many of the recent reports. But congratulations on your brand new album, Lenny, and on turning 60. And speaking of children and babies, cookbook author and mom Ayesha Curry, along with husband NBA star Steph Curry, they just welcomed their 4th bundle of joy to the world. I don't know if I'm going to say the name right, but the name is Kaya's Chai. So Kaya's Chai, I believe, is the baby's name, if I'm pronouncing it right. But congratulations to Ayesha as well as Steph. And some folks are saying, girl, you just announced that you was pregnant a couple of months ago. Well, she announced it and then she had the baby, and that's her prerogative. Shout out to you and congratulations on your brand new bundle of joy. And same thing for Sofia Richie. Side note, Sofia Richie, which is the daughter to Lionel Richie, she just is welcomed her first child as well. And one of the big things that was actually in the tabloids maybe about a few weeks ago was Marlon Wayans talking about grief specifically, but in the grief statement of losing his parents, like his mom as well as his father a couple of years later, He talked about not ever getting married because he promised his mom. And folks are like, wait a minute now. Grieving is one thing, but grieving and then trying to say that your mom passing away is the reason why you're never going to get married, people kind of question that. But he has a story, Marlon Wayans, on page 44, discussing not only grief in his life after loss of his parents, but also raising a trans child as well. So he also discusses what that is like in a story that's written by Janine Rubenstein, who covers the story. When I was talking about his parents, his mom passed away in 2020. His father passed away in 2023. And Marlon talked about how hard that was for him to not only deal with, but the heartbreak that brought along for him. He is the youngest son, I believe, in the family. And so that just had a very deep impact on him. And so much so that he said, in terms of marriage, he said he never married to show respect to his mom. But your mom recently passed away, I think, to some people. So they're kind of like, well, why didn't you get married before your mom passed away? So let's talk about that. Like, we know now you don't want to because of the passing of your mom, but prior to that, did you always feel that way? Or maybe it's the controversy surrounding the latest child that you just had because the lady wants, I think, child support or some sort of support. We won't talk about that. We'll leave that for another show. But you can check that story out on Marlon Wayans, and that's on page 44. And 30 Rock actor Titus Burgess actually comes on to page 58 with a nice spread talking about how good comedy can inspire social change. It's been a minute since I've seen Titus, so shout out to Titus.